Hi, my name is Tony Dahlager. I'm a managing director at Anaytlics8. There are 5 major areas that we recommend clients focus on, and today I'm going to address one of those 5 areas that's called data transportation. So in the last couple of years, organizations have widely adopted centralized cloud data platform technologies like Snowflake or Databricks or BigQuery. There's lots of them. Those aren't the only ones. But essentially, right, those had incredible advancements that greatly simplified the administration that was previously necessary to run technologies like that at enterprise scale. It's a great thing. But implicit in the term central data platform is that data actually needs to be moved from wherever it lives in the organization on platform, right? So constantly transporting data from all the places it lives, both in the organization and external to the organization, can actually rack up pretty huge costs, both in terms of technology, talent, and also in time, right? And so we call this activity lots of things: data extraction, data ingestion, data replication, data streaming. So for simplicity, I'm just going to say the word data transportation to kind of encompass all of those different topics. So importantly, these are ongoing activities. They're not just one-time things. Typically, data transportation occurs multiple times a day or even continuously, all day, every day. And this is a great place for you to spend some time optimizing for price and performance, as data transportation costs can quickly run out of control for organizations. And the reality is there's a lot of really good tools on market that can automate away this problem for you. Sometimes letting somebody else manage those services for you is the most optimal approach, but other times you're going to benefit from taking on maybe simpler processes that you can own yourself, that are going to be more cost effective in terms of the technology. So let's think about a few points here to help you decide if you should build and manage your own data transportation pipelines, or if buying a tool to manage it is going to make more sense for you. So the first thing is you want to think about your total cost of ownership. Sounds obvious but again, just because a replication tool is free, if you build it yourself, your people costs and time are obviously not free. So how much of your valuable people time goes to data extraction activities? What skills are going to be required? Does that stack you're building require high-end programmers who are expensive? How much babysitting and maintenance do these custom connectors require? The reality is you probably aren't going to build it perfectly. It's going to take you time to build them over time, and you're probably going to have issues along the way and bugs along the way that you have to work out as a team, especially if it's the first time you're building this. All of that needs to be part of your math before you just jump into seemingly the cheapest technology option. Think about all the costs. The second thing is you need to reconcile the fact that some data sources really are that complicated. So careful with build over buy on those ones. If your team is planning to roll their own connectors for complex enterprise applications, or like mainframes, or really old databases and stuff, especially legacy behemoths, you really need to pause on that plan. Somebody else has already figured that out, and your total cost of ownership is very likely to be lower to leverage their IP over you trying to roll your own connectors instead. The third point, which is important, right, is that you need to consider actually multiple approaches and be open to multiple approaches. Some commercial models are going to make you pay by connector. Others are going to make you pay for the consumption you have. So like the number of rows that you're replicating. Others are going to make you pay by capacity, so the amount of compute and time expected that you're going to use these connectors each month. And others will just charge you a flat fee. I know some of my enterprise architect friends are going to argue for simple patterns, but many organizations are benefiting from multi-approach models to help limit costs. So you need to look at each data source individually and be willing to consider maybe several approaches to move data for data transportation to actually keep your costs down. The fourth and final point, which sounds again really simple, but you'd be surprised, right? Ask if data is that's being moved, ask if data that's being transported is actually being used or not. Look at the data flows end to end through your central data platform and make sure that the data you're replicating there is actually still being used downstream. If it's not, then shut off those data pipelines. They are costing you money to run each month. Some wild success criteria I heard of IT teams in the last year was like the number of tables replicated to our cloud data platform, with no regard to their actual use. So stop that mindset. Stop setting that target of like, we moved all the data. Start with the demand of data in mind first, and then shut off any syncing of data that's not actually in use. And that's a great way to kind of optimize for price and performance within that central data platform. Follow Anaytlics8 to hear more tips like this and insights about the data and analytics industry as a whole.